The new expansion is here. The level cap has been raised to 70. Not only that, we have a new race, a new class, new zones. So let's get it done. The fastest way to level in Dragonflight and have a good time while doing it playing World of Warcraft is gonna be in this video. So bookmark it, check the timestamps, get it ready, and let's get that level 70 and enjoy the new content. And with all the changes to the level squish and the new zones to test out, I was questing in the old zones with my Dwarf Hunter, killing some rares, and man, they give a lot of XP. And I figured that one out a little bit too late, and all that time I could have used Silver Dragon to actually check the spawns of all of the rares on my questing path. Man, that could have saved so much time off of my run, it's unreal. Thankfully, I did remember to get it in the end, and I did it real quick with the CurseForge app. Didn't even have to close my game. Just a quick reload and bam! Spawns of rares enabled. And there are so many add-ons you can get on the fly, quick and easy, update and manage them with no issues. Just hit the link in the description and download the app no problemo. Thank you CurseForge app for sponsoring this video and making getting add-ons quick a breeze. Silver Dragon is not the only add-on that you can get for rares, but you can also take handy notes for later expansions because for some reason handy notes just does not have the spawn rates of rares in the old, let's say, Kata revamped zones. And it's a really good addition. It can also show treasures and stuff, which can be something to look forward to later on into your leveling process. Also, we definitely recommend getting D-Junk as well. If you start a fresh character on a fresh realm, this is even better since you will collect a whole bunch of grey loot that you will likely want to sell first of all, making it easier on your bags. Second, the gold you get adds up enough to the point where you can actually get your mount riding skills and all of the consumables in the list that follows. The first thing we want to mention is the Draught of the 10 Lands. This is a 10% experience potion you can get from your capital city in BFA with 5 service medals each. Now, this is better if you have toons that farmed the Faction Assaults, Darkshore and Arathi Highlands, World Quests, or even Warfront. You can still farm them if you wish to get a whole bunch of them, which is the downside of this, the actual farming. Up until now, this is the only potion that still gives bonus experience that we know of. Obviously, there are Dark Moon events, anniversary buffs, and so on, but since those are not always around, we treat them as a nice bonus instead of a suggested requirement. The next few consumables help you get around quicker. Gun Shoes is an old reliable when it comes to moving fast and getting back into town to turn those quests in. Since this is even faster than mounting, it will shave some time off. There are a couple of questing hubs that have you walk a bit from point A to B, making this particular consumable really cool. Lightstep Hoof Plates is a mount equipment you can get to have your mount walk around 20% faster. It doesn't stack with other mount speed effects such as if you are a Death Knight or a Paladin with Crusader aura. Alternatively, you can also get inflatable mount shoes. There are a few zones with questing in watery places where it's quicker to traverse a body of water if your class cannot already walk over it. And we cannot have a list of consumables without getting Goblin Gliders. There is no better quality of life when leveling before being able to fly than using Goblin Gliders to get down from a tall place to where the boars are. And last, in the category of speed, Fried Bonefish is a food buff that only works on levels 55 and higher, but does give you a decent move speed buff after you kill a mob, very useful especially when leveling in the Dragonflight zones. For those of you who have a max level character already, or at least one with a decent amount of gold, Heirlooms are your next stop. New characters cannot benefit from them unfortunately since you need a lot of gold to buy and upgrade them. And upgrade them you might have to since they don't go all the way up to level 59 by default. The upgrades cost gold or during certain events can be acquired through stuff like Time War badges as a currency. You can buy the Heirlooms from the top of Orgrimmar Gate because, you know, Undercity's gone, although you can still go to Undercity and enable the back in time version and buy them in the Rogue's Quarter. This way you can buy them on your freshly made toon if you don't have flying to get to the Orgrimmar Gate because you cannot get there any other way. And this is for Horde. For Alliance, go to Ironforge in the Hall of Explorers and you will get the vendors there. Although heirlooms do not provide bonus experience gains, they do give you strong bonuses if you are leveling, especially if you aren't leveling all in one go. Because the main benefit is that the set allows you to keep up your rested experience 60% longer. Not to mention, there are benefits such as out-of-combat regeneration, making the need of food very minimal. And when you level up, you explode in holy energy, damaging mobs around you and getting a 2-minute buff for a 40% main stat increase that can be extended. On top of it all, the gear levels with you, so you always have epic level items on you to help with killing stuff quicker, which makes finishing quests quicker, which gets you to 60 quicker. One of the best heirlooms you can get is the Monari Training Amulet from the Legion mission table Assault of Felfire Armory. Yes, you would have unlocked this if you ever played Legion a decent amount, or have to play it to unlock it now. If you can ever spare the time, it's a good one to get since it does give you a 5-minute cooldown, 40% sprint. Couple this with the consumables and whatever mobility your class brings, and it can be very useful, especially if it can save you from a camp of mobs that would otherwise kill you. Dying won't make you level faster, you know. Another slot you might want an heirloom in is the ring slot. The best one, which I don't have, is the Dread Pirate Ring that can be won from the Stranglethorn fishing event. Another one to get if you ever played Warlords of Draenor was the Signet of the Third Fleet, or any of the pirate rings you can get from your garrison missions. They might be harder to get, but you might already have them unlocked. The reason that the rings or necklaces are good is that they actually contribute to your last piece of heirloom set to get the last set bonus. Any of the rings or necklaces will do, but these are the prominent ones. And with this, we can talk about the actual set. You should get the armor set appropriate for your class, which consists of a headpiece, cloak, shoulders, chest, and legs. 5 pieces, and with a ring or a necklace, you will get all 6 bonuses. On top of this, you can also get weapons and trinkets as heirlooms from different sources. Although they won't provide any specific leveling bonuses, they are still items with high item level and a lot of stats that will boost your character's power. As a bonus, if you can afford it, we recommend getting the map heirlooms as well, which for some reason turn into toys, so you won't find them in the actual heirloom tab. They are 5k gold each, mega expensive, but they do unlock all the flight points in a specific area, depending on which ones you opt to buy. For the minimal investment, we recommend getting the Scouting Map, the Eastern Kingdoms campaign for Horde, and the Scouting Map, Modern Provisioning of the Eastern Kingdoms for Alliance, since the majority of leveling routes that we will recommend will have you fly around the Eastern Kingdoms more than anything. Now let's talk about the actual leveling routes and zones you will do. A quick disclaimer, we will be recommending some routes that will give you a very fast leveling time that will also be easy to follow. There are paths and strategies you can take that will mega speed level you through the zones, but for those we would need a 2-hour-long leveling video, and there are amazing people that have compiled a load of info for speed leveling if you all have the gold to spare, all the heirlooms necessary, and so on. Harldan is one such individual, shout out to him, and all of the work he has done in the guides for speed leveling, also the current holder of the fastest leveling to 60 as of recording this video, is amazing. So if you are interested in doing this as quick as possible, no shenanigans, just get their blast, we would recommend checking his stuff out. With that out of the way, the best way to level from 1 to 10 if you are not playing an allied race or a hero class is through the Exile Reach zone. If you have a new account, you will automatically be sent there anyway. Otherwise, you will get a choice for this once you are done creating your character. Not to mention, the Exile Reach is one of the most beautiful Warcraft zones to date. Simple, with all the Warcraft pizzazz we love. The questline is straightforward, and if you finish all of the quests with no heirlooms or rested XP bonuses, you will get to level 10 before even finishing the end scenario. There's also a side secret quest where you do a little thing for a light spawn elemental and you get a move speed buff, definitely helpful. From level 10 to 60, Alliance and Horde will have somewhat different routes, but they will intersect at times. First of all, we would highly recommend you go to Chromie and select the Legion timeline first. If you have done the intro scenario before, you will get an option to skip it, and we would recommend you to skip it. The reason for this is to get the Dalaran Heartstone. I didn't do it because I didn't think much of it, but I realized it would have saved me a whole bunch of time in traveling. You will use the Dalaran Hearthstone to quickly get back to your capital city, learn riding skills and buy more consumables, and use your normal Hearthstone after to get back to your questing hub. Without the Dalaran Hearthstone, you will spend a long time flying around, having to unlock stuff like Ashran just to get a portal to Stormwind, like I did, and that's when I realized I was a doofus and could have avoided all of this stuff. Second tip is to kill all of the rares you can find while doing quests in the Old World or the Cataclysm revamped zones. Rares there give a lot of experience, a quest worth actually. Depending on how you level, it might even be worth it to go slightly out of your way to do so. And this is where Silver Dragon comes in handy. It took me way too long to realize how much I was missing out, and who knows how many rares I accidentally skipped because of not having this add-on sooner. You can still clear rares in other zones that are not the old Cata revamped zones, but they won't give you as much experience, as we will talk about it in a few minutes. The third tip, although kind of an extension of the first tip, always go back to Stormwind or Orgrimmar to get your riding skill. At 10 you get the basic riding by default since you are already there, but at 20 you get the fast riding skill, and at 30 you will get flying with level 40 unlocking fast flying. I was leveling on an Alliance toon, so didn't really have the goal to get the fast flying, but if you can afford it and can fly in the relevant expansion, 100% go for it. And now let's get into the actual route. As an Alliance character, you want to start questing in Redridge Mountains. If you had your map toy activated, you can simply fly from Stormwind there and to all other zones in this route. Once you are in Redridge, you will see a big question mark on your map which signals the main quest chain there. Pick that quest up and pick all the other quests in the town you can find. As a quick tip on your quests, you will get to the point where you have to mind control an Etin to lift a big boulder. The map shows several locations for where this is, but for me it was right outside of the town in front of the bridge. It took me a while to run around before I could figure it out. And like this, you will keep questing until you reach the quest Prisoners of War. I heard this quest is poopy pants and decided I was better than all the rest and did it anyway. Possibly the biggest time waste on this route. You'll have a lot of annoying mechanics to deal with, stealth through, and if you are not smarter than me, chances are you will have this happen to you as well, and once again you will lose out on some precious time better spent elsewhere. And that elsewhere is Duskwood, and you want to pick up all of the quests you can find and finish the entire zone. Mounting will definitely help here, and enough gold to give you the consumables to speed around would also be helpful. My lack of gun shoes was heavily felt during this time, with no gold on my Alliance toons to speak of. When you are done with Duskwood, you want to quickly hop back to Stormwind and fly all the way to Loch Modan. If you have the scouting map toy, you should have zero issues getting there. If not, taking the deep run tram is also an option and might even be faster than flying. Finish the entire Loch Modan zone and you should be around level 30 if you also didn't use any XP bonuses and missed rares such as myself. After that, you want to start a new chromie time from chromie, and that is Warlords of Draenor. Some people would recommend Legion, and maybe I am more used to WoD since it has been the ideal leveling zones for years, but the questing is very stacked, and with the zone buffs you will get a lot more benefits from leveling here. The Warlords of Draenor intro is super good for bursts of XP. You would get here at about level 30 and you can get up to 3 levels of experience just from this, with no rested XP to exploit as well. After you finish it, set up your garrison and do all of the quests available. You'll reach a quest hub called Starfall Outpost and you will want to do all of the quests here. Towards the end of the quest chain, you will need to kill some stuff right next to the Bloodthorn Cave bonus objective. Do that objective as well. Also, although treasures used to be the biggest source of XP, they have been nerfed very heavily, so if you do happen to come across some on your way, they still award several mobs worth of XP, so they're not bad, but probably not ideal to go out of your way to find them. Plus, you can find the occasional item in there that can boost your power, so not worth completely ignoring. After finishing Starfall Outpost and just before getting the quest to move out to Ashran, you will probably want to transition. Going to Ashran is a lot of time consuming back and forth, zigzagging, talking to a lot of NPCs. The only reason I did it was because I skipped on my Dalaran Hearthstone, so I was kinda stuck in WoD without a possibility of getting to Orgrimmar to learn my riding skill. So move towards Talador after this, making your way to the town Fort Rin. On your way, you'll get some rares and bonus objectives. Complete Aruna's Desolation. It's super easy and super quick. I wouldn't recommend stopping for all of the rares and treasures though, since they are not what they used to be in terms of experience points. Once you get to the city, you can build the artillery tower there. This is a quest part of the WoD story where you have building bonuses in different zones. This one in particular unlocks the Zangara bonus objective, another easy event for a fat chunk of XP. Once you've done this, your next goal is Gorgrond, and you will walk there, north, or fly if possible. In Gorgrond, you will get to the southern part where you will want to do 2 bonus objectives since they are on your way to the starting quest chain. Tail Thrasher's Basin and Ruins of the First Bastion are pretty quick to do. Depending on your level, I was 38, 39 while doing these, you could spare some time for more objectives, which I would recommend. If you are around this level, doing more bonus objectives on your way to the middle part of the East Coast, where your quest chain starts, will be beneficial in saving time off of the last part of the WoD leveling that you will have to do, which is a bit more tedious. Once you reach your starting point in the quest chain, follow it with all of the side quests you can pick up until you get to High Pass. That will be the main hub in Gorgrond, and as with Talador, you will construct something here. Savage Pits seems to be the best thing to make. Either of the 2 buildings give you a special ability. The Pits lets you summon dudes to fight with you once every 10 minutes. This can be used when you pull a whole bunch of packs together when doing multiple quests at the same time. As you quest, you will also at one point get into the Crimson Fen zone, big, huge red mushroom place. Finish all the quests here and continue questing until the quest Strike while the Iron is Hot is available, while also finishing the bonus objectives Valley of Destruction, Miss Creepmire, and the Razor Bloom. Once you are done with all of this, head into Spires of Arak and quest until you reach level 60. One tip here is that when you get to Southport, construct the Stocktron Brewery so you can get the 5-minute quick Hearthstone. You will zigzag a bit between quest hubs, and having this helps speed things up. This is the last part of the questing and where it gets a bit tedious, mostly because of all the zigzagging and less straightforward questing route. You'll get 60 sometime during the quest chain, depending on whatever experience boosters you have used during this time. For the Horde, aside the starting point, Horde does most of the same things. And I mean literally mirrored from the Alliance counterpart, so we will quickly blast through this section of the video. Horde will start in Silverpine Forest, and you will want to quest until on your Majesty's Secret Service. This is an easy and straightforward area to keep blasting through. You'll get to a point where you are in an old Dalaran crater going after human mages. Take some time and kill the arcane elementals. One of them will drop a quest item that will make you want to kill a whole bunch more. Since you are already here, might as well do this being Lay Energies, the quest name of course. Another quest to make sure to get is when you are fighting the infantry with Godfrey next to you, one of the infantries will drop a quest item. I never forget a face, instant XP, so make sure you kill the infantry even after they drop the battle plan you are normally looking for, until you also get this particular quest. Soon after this, you will reach a quest called On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Stop here. This quest eats up a lot of time, and it's particularly difficult to do with certain classes if you aren't decked in big boy gear. After Silverpine, you want to go to Hillsbrad Foothills and make sure you finish the whole zone. Remember that there are a bunch of situations where you will be sent into a quest area to kill some stuff that can drop quest items for instant quest XP. Whenever you see a special name mob, tag it, like Muggill, the free XP Murloc giving you the Muggill Slipper or something quest. Once you are done with Hillsbrad, go back to Orgrimmar with your Dalaran Hearthstone and start the Warlords of Draenor chromie time. Don't skip the intro even if you do have the option to. The experience gain is massive and it's like mega easy and quick to do. Although the checklist is similar to the Alliance side, you will differ here and there. After you finish your garrison, stop just before being sent to Ashran. There's no need to do that since your Dalaran Hearthstone gives you the means to get back to Orgrimmar, so instead head to Gorgrond first since it's more convenient on positioning. Same as Alliance, you want to get the Tail Thrasher's Basin and Ruins of the First Bastion bonus objectives, with anything else in your way cleared at your own discretion. After Gorgrond, you will walk your butt down towards Spires of Arak, but stop in Talador for a bit. Here you want to go to Vol'jin's Pride and construct the Arsenal building and proceed to clear the objectives Mogron's Logworks, Zangara, Aruna's Desolation, and Zorkra's Fall. Doing all of these is going to get you the big chunk of easy XP from Talador, at which point you will actually move down to Spires of Arak, where you will quest until you get to level 60. If you want to play the new class/spec combo, the first thing you need to do is to make sure that you already have a level 50 character on the realm you want to play on, and go create the new class, which will start at level 58. Once that is done, you will get your first 2 levels in the starring area for the Dracthyr. At the end, you will be a bit into the level 60. You won't need Heirlooms for this, since they will only work for one part of the quest phase. Not really worth it. Dragonflight, similar to Shadowlands in a way, has gone back to the streamlined quest chain, where you go zone by zone as it was designed instead of choosing your path. Once the Zeppelin takes you to the first area you're gonna explore in Dragonflight, the Waking Shores, you will start the storyline, which will take you to the main city eventually. The shielded quests will represent the main storyline, while the side quests won't have the same shield icon. Depending on the content you do and how you like to level, it may take you from 4 to 10 hours to get to level 70 by following the story. If you're a storyline lover, you like to watch the cinematics, do side quests, pick a flower, admire waterfalls, and grab a snack while at it, it will take you quite a while to get there, but it's the experience and enjoyment that counts with the new content, am I right? If you want to get to max in a decent amount of time, you can probably get everything done in about 5 hours. Blast through the storyline, but don't forget that you will need side quests as well to get all the experience you need. As a side note, the questline and dungeons are not the only things granting you experience. If you choose to learn a crafting profession, you will also get quite a lot of experience from crafting recipes for the first time. And the bonus is often more than you would get from a normal quest, so assuming you have the materials and or gold you need for all the crafts, you can get a level or 2 from them as well, or if you choose 2 crafting professions, that XP will double. Of course, this depends very much on the mats available and their price. If your dad is a cash machine, you should be set, as it can get really expensive at the start of a new expansion. The main storyline quests will not grant enough XP to get you all the way to level 70, so you will have to either do side quests, bonus objectives, reputation side quests, dungeons, and or professions to get your character up to max level. And with all of this, you should be level 70. Congratulations, you made it here, and you can enjoy the endgame that is Dragonflight. Hope the guide was useful for you, and if you do have any comments, suggestions, or corrections, critique of any kind, leave a comment down below. And of course, a big shout out once again to Harldan for actually doing a lot of research that we peeked a little bit into to see exactly if it was matching what we had. And the dude is massive when it comes to speed leveling, and I was really freaking impressed. So if that's a thing, which is not normally what this video is usually said to accomplish, speed leveling is a totally different beast, then we would strongly recommend checking his stuff out. The links will be down either in the description or in the pinned comments. Thank you for watching the video, and see you next time. Bye-bye!
I've been loving it then, I still love it now. Still, I play WoW. Still, I play WoW. Getting better every day, let me show you how. Cause still, I play WoW. Still, I play WoW. It's getting harder to stay, but at the end of the day, it's a guilty pleasure, so just log in and play. Whether it's classic or retail, I'ma do a /bow. Still, I play WoW.